Hello students, a very good morning to all. So in this video, we're starting with unit 2 of your syllabus, that is periodic properties. So in this, we'll be covering these topics: the position of elements in the periodic table will be discussed, how the elements are arranged in the periodic table, history of periodic table will be discussed. The second topic, that is effective nuclear charge and its calculation. This we have already covered in your first unit in video number 8. That is, Slater's rules have been used for the calculation of effective nuclear charge. So details of Slater's rules and how to calculate effective nuclear charge and screening constant and the calculations based upon this part has already been discussed. Next, we'll discuss various periodic properties like atomic radii, atomic or ionic radii, ionization energy, electron affinity, and electronegativity. Their definitions will be discussed, their method of determination, and their periodic trends in the periodic table, and their applications in predicting and explaining the chemical behavior of different chemical compounds will be discussed in this chapter. So in the first video, this is our first video for this chapter. So we'll be starting with the history of periodic table. I would like to start with the very basic, that is history of periodic table, that how periodic table came into being. So first question is, what is the need of periodic table? So in around 1800, what was happening was there that around 31 elements were known. So it was getting difficult, and more and more elements were getting discovered by 1865. So it was getting difficult for the scientists to study them individually. So it was decided to group them into some categories based upon some properties. So for this, first attempt was done by Daubernier. Daubernier was a scientist who arranged the elements in the form of triads, that is group of three. He arranged the elements in the form of group of three, that is, say ABC are the three elements, and he arranged these three elements based upon the law that he used, this basis law that atomic weight of B is going to be equal to the average of A and C. That is, atomic weight of B will be equal to or approximately equal to, we can say, A plus C by 2. So based upon this, he tried to arrange some elements, and he successfully arranged 3 4 triads in this format. And just like we can see that lithium, sodium, and potassium, these are the symbols of three elements: lithium, sodium, and potassium. So these are the atomic weights of these elements. Lithium is having atomic weight of 7, sodium is having atomic weight of 23, and potassium is having atomic weight of 39. So based upon this, based upon his rule, Taubernier's rule, atomic mass of sodium should come up by the average of these two elements, by the average of atomic masses of these two elements. So let's see if it comes out to be same. Yes, 7 plus 39 divided by 2, that means 46 divided by 2 comes out to be 23. So similarly, he arranged calcium, strontium, and barium, and chlorine, bromine, and iodine in the form of triads. And he found very slight variation in the atomic masses. Like here for strontium, atomic mass is 88, and what he observed from the average result was 88.5. For bromine it is 80, and from the average result he observed it to be 81.25. So this was he was the first scientist who tried such an attempt to arrange the elements in the form of groups based upon some property. So this was his success. But this model of the periodic table, this model of the periodic table for the arrangement of elements into some, based upon some property, into some groups, led to the failure, because all the known elements, around 63 elements were known at that time, and he was not able to arrange all the known elements in the form of triads. He could arrange only few elements. As we can see here, there are 9 elements which have been arranged in the form of triads. So there were some more, but he was not able to arrange all the elements known at that time in the form of triads. As an example, we can see that these are the members of same group. Let us see if it follows the rule mentioned by Dauvergne based upon the atomic masses. So from here, fluorine should weigh around, atomic mass of fluorine should be around 49.5, but actually the atomic mass of fluorine is 35.5. So here, this triad doesn't follow the rule mentioned by Dauvergne. So this led to the failure. So after a long time, then came a new scientist who was a great music lover. His name was Newlands. He provided with the Newlands law of octaves, and his law was based upon his love for music. As the musical notes are repeating themselves after every 8 notes, that is sa re ga ma pa dha ni, and every 8th note is repeating after the first note and is having the same property as the first note. So based upon that, he arranged elements in this form, and he proposed that his proposal was based upon the law that when elements are arranged in the increasing order of atomic weights, then every 8th element was having same physical and chemical properties as the first element. At that time, noble gases were not discovered, so he didn't put the noble gases into the periodic table, because at that time those elements were not discovered. So this was the law provided by him. So he was the first person who introduced us with periodicity, that is repetition of some properties after regular intervals of elements, or we can say after regular intervals of anything, that is periodicity. So what was the problem with this? This model also failed. The problem was it was valid up to calcium only. So that means it was valid for lighter elements. He didn't consider heavier elements in his model. He was the first person who introduced periodicity. Periodicity means repetition of physical and chemical properties after regular intervals. Or also we can say periodicity can be taken as the gradual increase in physical or chemical properties after fixed intervals, not time intervals. So the first first breakthrough which led to its failure was the discovery of noble gases. So when the noble gases got discovered, they took the place of the 8th element. That means here neon will come here. The second noble gas of the periodic table will come here. But properties are way more different from lithium. So all the arrangement was disrupted as suggested by Newland when the noble gases were discovered. Also, the discovery of heavier elements led to the failure of this model, because this model was valid only for lighter elements. Next came the scientists Dmitry Mendeleev and Lothar Meyer. So these were the two great scientists which were individually working. One was from Russia. Dmitry Mendeleev was from Russia, and Lothar Meyer was the German scientist. They were both working independently, and they were working on the same thing, that is the how to arrange the elements in the form of periodic table. So they almost discovered the same thing, but the difference was that Dmitry Mendeleev published his work prior to Lothar Meyer. So he got the recognition for the development of periodic table, which was widely accepted before the modern periodic table was introduced. And Lothar Meyer gave the graphical representation, and the Mendeleev gave the periodic the elements, arrange the elements in the form of table. So let's first see what Lothar Meyer proposed. So he proposed, he arranged the elements in the form of atomic volume versus atomic weight. Graphical arrangement was there, and he proposed that every period is making, every period present in the periodic table is making a peak, and the peak positions, the elements which are occupying the same peak positions are having the same properties. That means they can be arranged in one group. So the elements at similar positions of the curve have similar properties. But this was bit tedious task to study the graphical representation, as if there is next element here and next element is here, then the distance was not that much fixed, and it was quite misleading. It could lead to some problematic results. But Mendeleev, according to Mendeleev, he arranged the periodic table, he arranged the elements in the form of a table, which was very much clear. So based upon Mendeleev's observation, he arranged the elements in the order of increasing atomic weights, and after certain fixed intervals, properties were same as, or periodicity was there. Periodicity was introduced by Newland, but it was used by Mendeleev and as well as this person, Lothar-Meyer. So this was the law that physical and chemical properties of elements are periodic function of the atomic weights. By atomic weights, we mean the atomic masses. And by periodic function, we mean that they depend upon the atomic weights. So original periodic table, which was firstly proposed by Mendeleev, was generated using playing cards. So he arranged the periodic table by using playing cards. He put the playing cards in place of the elements, and he arranged the periodic table using the playing cards. So the arrangement basis by Mendeleev was valency. What was the basis of his observation? That how he arranged the elements, how he got to know that these elements are to be placed in same group. So the basis was valency. What he did was he prepared oxides of all the elements, and the elements exhibiting same valency were grouped together. So in his periodic table, there were groups and periods. Periods vary from left to right, and groups were varying from vertical. Groups were the vertical columns. So let's have a look at the merits and demerits of the Mendeleev's periodic table. In the merits, we can say that all the 63 elements which were discovered so far at that time were placed in his periodic table. Also, the periodic properties were directly proportional to the atomic weights. That means the properties of the elements were periodic function of their atomic weights. He also did one important task, that he put the gaps for the undiscovered elements, and already for the undiscovered elements, he already put the gap in the periodic table, that some element will come here which is having properties same as this element which is already discovered. So he placed a gap, which was the drawback of the Newland's periodic table, that after the discovery of noble gases, his model got rejected. But he did this clever thing, that he put a gap for undiscovered elements. Periodic properties of undiscovered elements were also predicted. Just like he, in the group of aluminium, just below the aluminium, he put an element and called it as Eka aluminium, which was later named as phosphorus. And in sorry, not phosphorus, it was here it is germanium, and here it is gallium. So based upon this, he called it as Eka aluminium and Eka silicon, because at that time these elements, that is gallium and germanium, were not discovered. But based upon the knowledge gained from his Sanskrit friend, a friend of his who was professor in Sanskrit, Eka means same as aluminium. So he named this element, which was later named as gallium, as Eka aluminium, and this, which was later named as germanium, he named it as Eka silicon. Eka means ek baat in Hindi, or we can say in Sanskrit it means ek baat. That means same. Now coming to the demerits, somehow he grouped some dissimilar elements, like he grouped sodium, potassium and rubidium with copper and silver based upon the valency exhibited by them, based upon the oxides formed by them. So these were exhibiting same valency, so he grouped the dissimilar elements together. Separation of similar elements was the demerit of his periodic table. Some of the elements which were showing similar properties, like platinum and gold, which were later found to be grouped in the same group, were separated by him based upon the, again, valency exhibited by them. Also, the most important thing was that based upon the atomic masses, isotopes should be placed at different positions, but he didn't consider the placement of isotopes at different positions, although his periodic table was based upon mass number, that is atomic mass, but still isotopes were not given any position in the periodic table. Also, in some of the cases, he contradicted himself. Based upon the properties, he neglected the atomic mass rule, that is atomic weight rule, and he put cobalt before nickel in the periodic table, which otherwise is heavier in comparison to nickel when we talk about atomic mass. Also, the position of hydrogen was not defined by Mendeleev based upon because it is still, the position of hydrogen is still ambiguous, that it is non-metal or metal, and where should it be placed in the periodic table, as it shows the properties of non-metals, but it is placed with metals in the first group, as we will see in the modern periodic table. Next came the scientist Scott, who discovered the noble gases, and he got Nobel Prize for his discovery. Scott was a scientist who discovered noble gases, and Mendeleev was the person who had already kept the spaces in the gaps in the periodic table for the placement of noble gases in his table. So Mendeleev's periodic table was acceptable for a really long time due to these gaps. So Scott was a scientist who got Nobel Prize for the discovery of noble gases. Mendeleev was not given any Nobel Prize, but an element has been named after his name. That is the element which is having atomic number of 101, which is called as Mendelevium. And also many Russian research institutes are after his name. He got such recognition that he was the first person who successfully arranged all the elements in the form of periodic table. But somewhere around in 1912, when Henry Moseley was working with X-rays, so he was working with X-rays and he found that X-rays were characterized based upon frequency, and frequency was found to be dependent upon the atomic number. But based upon the arrangement of elements in the periodic table, he was expecting this frequency to be dependent upon the atomic mass. So from here, he got the idea that periodic table should be arranged in the form of increasing atomic numbers and not atomic masses. So this was the idea which gave way to long form of periodic table, which is most widely acceptable and most widely used so far. So, and the law associated with the modern periodic table was the modern periodic law, which says that physical and chemical properties of elements are the periodic function of their atomic numbers. Let us see the structure of modern periodic table. So modern periodic table has horizontal rows which are called as periods. There are 7 horizontal rows called as periods, and there are 18 vertical columns which are called as groups. So it has 7 horizontal rows and 18 vertical columns which are called as groups, and horizontal rows are called as periods. So in terms of electronic structure, a period can be defined as period of an atom is in terms of electronic structure of the atom, a period would consist the same number of shells as its number. So that means in the first period, first shell will be filled, and in the second period, second shell will be filled. So period number is same as that of the shell number, which are getting successively filled. And each period starts with different principal quantum numbers. We have already discussed about the quantum numbers in the atomic structure unit, that is your first unit of your syllabus. So now we'll be discussing about the periods and groups. So first period is having principal quantum number associated with principal quantum number n is equal to 1. It is having just two elements which are having atomic number of 1 and 2, that is hydrogen and helium. So this is because the first shell has just one orbital with maximum capacity of 2 electrons. So as the maximum capacity is of 2 electrons, so there are just two elements. Now we're coming to the second period. For second period, principal quantum number associated with it is 2. So 2 means there are, for n value of 2, there are, how many orbitals are possible? So there are 4 orbitals which are possible, that is one 2s orbital and 3 2p orbitals. So that means total of 8 electrons can be fitted into the second period. 8 electrons means 8 elements can be fitted into the second period. So the atomic number for the 8 elements vary from 3 to 10, that is from lithium to neon. So for the third period, n is equal to 3. Based upon that, it has 3s, 3p and 3d orbitals. 3s is having one orbital, 3p subshell is having further 3 orbitals based upon the 3 orientations in space based upon the magnetic quantum number. 3d orbitals are having 5 orbitals based upon 5 orientations in space. So total of 9 orbitals are there. That means 18 elements can be fitted into this period. But based upon the energy level diagram for the multi-electron system, 3d orbitals is filled after the 4s orbitals. So in this period, only the filling of 3s and 3p will be done. That means in this period also there are 8 elements which are from atomic number 11 to 18, that is sodium to argon, where filling of 3s1, 3s2 is done. That means 3s subshell is done and 3p subshell is filled. So 3D will be filled in the next period, that is fourth period, which is associated with principal quantum number of 4, for which possibility of 9 orbitals are there. That means which are the 9 orbitals, which are in actual there are 9 orbitals, but if we see the fourth shell, there are 4 plus 5, 9, 9 plus 7 is 16. So that means 16 orbitals are there, then it should include 32 elements, or we can say 32 electrons is the capacity of this 4 subshell. But as we all know that 4d and 4f orbitals are 4d and 4f subshells based upon the based upon the energy level diagram. These are filled after 5s. So these will be filled after the introduction of 5s, that means the fifth period. So here the shells which are actually filled are 4s, 3d and 4p. So this is the combination of, this is decided based upon the combination of energy level diagram and the principal quantum number. So from in this group, the elements which fall are from atomic number 19 to atomic number 36, that is potassium to krypton. So in the fifth period, the elements which are fifth period, that means there are 16 orbitals again, but in case of fifth period, only 9 orbitals are filled. That means 18 electrons, that means 18 elements are there which belong to the fifth period. So the atomic number varies from Z is equal to 37 to Z is equal to 54. That means rubidium to xenon. In the sixth period, the actual actual subshells which should be filled are there. 16 orbitals are there. That means 32 elements should be there. But here the filling of 6s and 6p along with 6s, 6p along with 4f and 5d is done. So it includes total of 8 plus 8, 16 orbitals. That means 32 32 elements should be there, out of which also 14 elements are shifted, 14 4f elements are shifted below the periodic table to avoid the restriction of the space. So these 4f elements in which 4f orbitals is filled is placed just below, and it is called as f block elements, along with the period members of seventh period, which are where 5f subshell is filled, and those 14 elements are also placed just below the periodic table, and they are called as, so in actual, in the sixth period, the atomic number varies from z is equal to 55 to z is equal to 86, and for seventh period the atomic number varies from 87 to 118. So here we can see that the properties are getting repeated after regular intervals of these numbers. So these numbers are called as magic number, as these provide the theoretical justification for periodicity occurring at regular intervals of this. So here we have seen that how properties are getting repeated after regular intervals, as they the members which are the members of the elements which are the members of same group are having similar properties, so they are repeating their properties based upon these magic numbers. Now coming to the groups which I was just talking about. So the in terms of electronic structure, the atom structure of atom, it consists of a series of elements whose atoms have the similar electronic configuration. That means they have similar outer electronic configuration irrespective of the principal quantum number. That means they have the same number of electrons present in the given subshell with different number of total electrons in the elements. So out of 18 groups, first two groups and last 6 groups involve the filling of s and p orbitals. So first two groups, that means these are numbered as, the 18 groups have been numbered as 1 to 18. So first two groups are 1 and 2. Here the outer electronic configuration is ns1, where n is the period number. For second group, outer electronic configuration is ns2. Again, the n is principal quantum number and is also the period number. Then for where the p subshell is filled, these are the last 6 groups, that is from group 13 to group 18. Here the electronic configuration is np1, np2, np3, np4, and np5 and np6. So the elements in these groups are called as representative or normal elements. So these 8 groups, that is group 1 and 2 and then 13 to 18, these are called as representative or normal elements. The elements belonging to these groups are called as representative elements. And the short periods, which are the first 3 periods with elements with which are having elements, that is 2, 8 and 8 elements, involve the filling of just s and p orbitals. In the fourth period, filling of 3d orbitals starts. So due to the introduction, so 3d orbital starts due to the introduction of 10 main group elements. So in between these two groups, that is 1, 2, there exists 10 groups which lie in between these two groups, and 6 groups on the right, 2 groups on the left and 6 groups on the right. These are called as transition elements. Elements present in these 10 groups are called as transition elements, as they represent a transitioning character from reactive metals belonging to group 1 and 2 on the one side, and non-metals of group 13 to 18 on the right side. So additional 2 rows placed at the bottom. Next is additional 2 rows placed at the bottom consisting 14 elements each with atomic numbers that is equal to 58 to 71, which are occurring after lanthanum and are called as lanthanides. And the next, which where filling of 5f subshell is there. Next 14 elements are from atomic number 90 to 103, which are occurring after actinium. These are called as actinides. These involve the filling of 4f and 5f subshells. So these are the part of 6th and 7th period in actual. So first two groups on left, 6 groups on the right, and 10 groups in between, and 14 small groups are there which are placed at the bottom of periodic table. These corresponds to the maximum number of electrons that may be added to these subshells. First two groups represent the S subshell. The last 6 groups represent the P subshell, as the number of groups is 6. So P is also having the maximum capacity of 6. Number of groups is 2. S is having the maximum capacity of 2 electrons. Number of groups is 10, which are present in between these two types of groups, which are where the maximum capacity of D is 10. And there are 14 small groups, and maximum capacity of F subshell is 14 electrons. So these are related in this way. So earlier, when all the elements were not discovered, it was around in 1997. So IUPAC recommended the following method for naming elements with atomic numbers which were having atomic numbers beyond 100. So a method was introduced by IUPAC for the naming of elements which are having atomic number of above 100. So this method was, let us discuss what was that. So they just gave the notations for these numbers. That means for 0 they used NIL, that means nil, and symbol used was N. For 1 it was UN, and symbol was U. For 2 pi. For 3 tri was used. For 4 quad. For 5 pent. For 6 hex. For 7 sept. For 8 oct was used, and for 9 N was used, and these are the symbols. So based upon this, if the element number is atomic number is 101, so the based upon this name was un, nil, un for 1, nil for 0, and un again for 1, and it ends with the prefix of IUM. So every element was named like this, and the symbol given was UNU, and for this symbol was UNB, that means un, nil, bium. So this was the method which was recommended by IUPAC nomenclature for the naming of elements which were not discovered. That means the elements which were coming after 100. But now at this time, at present time, this is not required, as all the 118 elements have been discovered. And the last 4 elements which have recently been discovered and named in just in June 2016, these were having atomic number of 113, 115, 117, and 118, and these names of these elements are nihonium, moscovium, tennessine, and organocin. This belongs to last period, that is, last group, that is, these all belong to the last period, that is 7th period, and this belongs to 17 group, group 18. This element belongs to group 17. This element belongs to group 15, and this element belongs to group 13. Also in 1934, Enrico Fermi was a scientist who attempted to synthesize many transuranic elements. Up till 1934, all the naturally occurring elements were known. So it was Enrico Fermi who first attempted to discover the elements which are transuranic, that means which are radioactive in nature. So in all, at the present time, there are 118 elements are there which have been discovered so far, out of which 94 are naturally occurring and 24 are synthetic. Next is the arrangement of periodic table in the form of blocks. So that we'll be discussing in the next video. So that is it for this video. And in the next video, we'll be discussing the periodic tables, and we'll also be discussing the mnemonics for learning the elements of periodic tables, block-wise, series-wise, group-wise, and period-wise. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much. I hope you have found it interesting, and thank you so much. Have a good rest of the day.